Hi, my name is Will and welcome to the Distorted Transmission for today. I'm talking to Hamilton band Brawler. How are you guys?
Good.
All good.
Thank you for having us.
So first is intros.
Hello, I'm Facundo. I do drums. I play drums for Brawler.
Hey, I'm Joe. I do vocals for Brawler.
I'm Dames. I play guitar and backup vocals.
Somebody's missing. Yep.
We're in between bassists at the moment. We've got a really good friend to cover the upcoming shows, and then somebody lined up to take on the bass role for Brawler for the future, which we're really excited about.
Nice. All right, so the basic history of the band. Yeah.
So it probably started during the lockdown. So what year was that?
2021?
Yeah.
2020, bro.
2020.
Damn, boys.
Me and Dames had been in previous bands and always sort of like hung out after shows and stuff and talked about hardcore all night. So it was actually something we've wanted to do and discussed for the past 10 years prior to that. So we finally wanted to make it happen. I had a child and that, and then I was hungry for it, so I reached out to Dames and he had demos sitting there. So yeah, we started demoing vocals over his riffs, and then he met Facundo on Facebook through making a post. But funny story is me and Facundo come from the same little town, Seattle, and I knew of him and he knew of me. I'd played in bands with members of his ex-bands, but we'd never actually met. I think I sent you a request on Facebook and you never accepted me.
Okay.
So we finally meet, even though we've been in the same town for how long?
Apparently I know every person in town.
And then it sort of it went from there, and we tried out a couple members and came up with a sound, I guess. We did scrap a lot of songs.
Yeah, we did.
Until we got where we are now.
We refined a style between us three, sort of thing, even from where it started and what, like maybe Dames and Joe. I joined as a drummer. I joined the picture a little bit later. There were already demos laid down with vocals.
I'd say our early stuff,
it
was more slam, but it sort of just developed into what it is now. It just wasn't really working with my vocals, I guess.
I don't know. That's probably one for Dave. Well, I don't know. What do you think about that, Dave?
It was a combination of things, bro. It was the because it was sort of like no Zodiac slam style riffing, and then when Funo heard it, he's a deathcore guy, and so he put deathcore drums to it, and it just made it deathcore. So it was like when you sort of needed to dial it back, but the only way to dial it back was to sort of like dial the guitar back too to make it more hardcore. So then you couldn't write deathcore drums to it.
I'd say it probably started out with a lot of what you guys would call deathcore drums, but these days the drums that are still in it are pretty complex deathcore style, but it suits the songs well.
They always say, like, to make your hardcore band mean, get like a metal guy, like a metal drummer.
Yeah.
Which is what we did.
Let's move on to the first question. That was just the history. All right, so you released the Hard True CP in March 2023, just maybe, was that a couple of months ago? About a month ago. So where and how was that recorded?
All the guitars were bar the bass, so the guitar tracks were recorded at my house. I just recorded them on Reaper, and then we sent the stems to our producer and the heap of tab and the shitty sort of scratch tracks of what it should sound like, and he recorded the bass at his house for us, which was neat, with a dingwall, which is cool. And then at the same time as we sent sort of the package, we sort of sent the MIDI drums that Bruno had written. Just wrote exactly what he plays, and we put them all to it and sent it. Sort of gave him the idea of what we wanted it to sound like, and we think Jake nailed it on the head.
There is like a bit of a process with our writing. We do like one scratch track with just pretty much me and Dames, and that's just complete. Sounds like dog shit. And then we do another demo that's all the instruments are refined, how they're supposed to be, and we get together, we do we record the vocals, and pretty much make it the best we can, and then we send that to our guy, and then we do it all over again. re-record it all over again.
Probably,
it seems to work real well. By the time it gets to the final version, it's pretty pretty
like
good.
I think we've got a pretty standard method that we use between. I mean, Dames tends to write most of Brawler, even lyrically.
I write more lyrics.
Flow wise, lyrics, he's always thinking about it. He'll write a scratch track on Gats with drums, like some basic drums, send it to me typically and Joe, and then me and Dames might back and forth quite a bit, try it out in person and see if it works. I usually do a bit of songwriting and rearranging in there too. I'll write some, once we're kind of happy with that, I'll like, in terms of drums, I'll go and write the final MIDI drums, like refine the drums, change the grooves sometimes, and like get something that we want. Then
When it comes to the vocals, I sort of come in with my lyrics, and Dames and Vitindo pretty much
Joe
rearrange stuff that needs rearranged. Sometimes we argue, but in the end, we have a happy medium.
Yeah, with vocals, we do demos at my place usually.
Yeah.
And here we'll demo everything and check out the lyrical flows between me, Dames, and Joe. And also backups and gangs.
Yeah.
And then once we have all that,
and once
everyone's agreed that that's how the song should sound, we send a basic run to Jake. Shout out to Mr. Jake Booth from Mordecai Records. He did an absolutely amazing job on this EP, recorded bass, tracked, mixed and mastered, and chose all the samples. So, I mean, the guy's a fucking legend.
And he's playing on our tour.
And he's joining us for the tour, which is awesome because he is an experienced...
So we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about
it. It's too late now. You've talked about it now.
It is. So we might as well say, shout out Jake. But Jake will send us like a basic rough mix first, and then we will get used to that and then record vocals at Jake's place using his setup, and that's the final. Yeah, that's how we get from 0 to 100.
Okay. You were released from an Aussie outfit called 1054 Records, and they've got quite a large catalogue of many other things. So when I sort of went to look for other things that you released, there was just 1,000 other bands. So have you actually released anything apart from that the Hard Truth EP?
No, we hadn't. Oh, Dames, you answer it, Dames.
Dames is quiet.
Yeah.
We released 2 singles beforehand, Creatures and Pay the Price, which obviously feature on the EP. That's the only thing that we've released, just the Hard Truth EP and those 2 singles.
So how did you actually sort of get the hookup with 1054 Records? Because that's an Aussie crowd.
I made a shitty teaser, bro, on Power Director, and just when we first started the band, social media accounts, I posted it up like a 20-second teaser, and then they popped up on Insta, and I liked their page, and then he hit me up and was like, "Yo, sounds mean." We had a conversation. He's like, "Fuck, you want to jump on board?" And told us what the deal was. Shout out to Pete. Shout out to 1054 though. It's been fucking good, bro. It's been good.
All right. So the next question is: do you plan to release more at some point in the foreseeable future?
Yes, we do.
We're actually playing it. Yeah, we've got a new song in the works. We're planning our next release currently. Already.
Yeah, there's something in the work that we've got a lot of songs in the backlog, I guess, but we find stuff that we're like, this has been, and we've got one of those at the moment.
The next thing you release, do you think it'll just be like a single release kind of a deal?
There's talk of maybe a split. So we want to get some new music out there pretty quick compared to how long the EP took. So we figured it may be a good idea to do a split EP, 2 exclusive tracks each for each band. But I can't say who we're thinking or anything like that yet because it's just talk right now. But
it's pretty cool from what we've heard if it goes through.
Yeah.
Facundo, you're also in a band called Drop Off Point. Are you all involved with other projects? And I was sort of wondering, because I'm not really that up to speed with the New Zealand hardcore scene, is it quite an incestuous sort of thing going on between the bands? Because I know like the metal scene, we quite often share musicians, like drummers quite often are in 3 or 4 bands, So what about the hardcore scene? Is it the same deal?
I think there is a little bit of that with drummers, not because it's a hardcore specific issue, just because of it's a like live band general issue. Metal, blues, rock, hardcore, whatever you're playing, there's like a shortage of good drummers around, and even less drummers for metal and hardcore. There are, say, Drop Off Point and Brawler share a drummer. There was going to be another band. I mean, I don't know if you want to say Homefront, but Homefront, another Hamilton hardcore.
Yeah, I'm working on another hardcore project with Mike from Drop Off Point, my brother. I'm playing guitar in that, but that's just in demo stages. But you may as well tell them how you actually met Drop Off Point.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But so yeah, like that's another band that might have had the same drummer. And I know Easy Off, and that's just in Hamilton. Easy Off and Pressure, who are two Hamilton hardcore bands, they share drummers as well. So I think it's just like it's a widespread plague, bro. You know how it is.
Plus,
I actually met Drop Off Point through Joe. Well, they met me through Joe, I should say. We were at the Brawler practice in the Brawler room at the Team Kill practice. Yeah. We're just where we'd still practice now because Jakey Booth from Team Kill and the boys, and I think Joe invited his uncle and Bones, the guitarist, for Drop Off Point for a jam with me because they were looking for a drummer. Things gelled, and now boom, here it is.
The bassist is my uncle.
Yeah,
as well.
Very incestuous then.
Yeah. Keep it in the family, y'all.
What's the plans for the rest of the year for Brawler? Dames, you've been pretty quiet. Let's try you.
So we've got 3 shows coming up. The EP release tour, just North Island dates so far. We've got 26th of May in Hamilton at Last Place. We've got 2nd of June, Auckland at Whammy. And we've got 3rd, the 9th of June at Valhalla in Wellington. So all good bands, all good support. So it's going to be a fun time.
Any supports that you want to mention, or is it all under wraps?
Yeah. No. We've got we've poked all the posters out there. So Pressure's going to join us for all 3 dates, which is pretty sick. Pretty keen to get that there. Special guest, and then we got Hamilton. We've got Vilified, which are old friends of ours. They just started a band. Then we've got Drop Off Point. So Vilified, Drop Off Point, Pressure. Auckland, there's Vilified's also playing that, and Parasitic Infestation, Pressure, us, and Wellington is going to be Sawn Off from Nelson, Brainwave, Wellington, Pressure again, and us. So pretty stacked lineup, I like to think.
Cool. So we've done the shows. So I guess lastly, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, thanks, Will, for giving us your time, man, and reaching out. And I'd just like to say thanks to everyone who's come out and checked the shows out and bought merch and supported. And if you haven't already, check out the EP on Spotify and give it a bit of a spin. And too much.
Auckland, Hamilton, Wellington, get ready for the beat down. We can't wait to bring it. We're really looking forward to it.
Pretty much. Better be there
now that the music's out there.
Yep. Go listen to our EP. Turn up to the shows. Have a fucking good time. 3 dates.
Check us out on Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube,
all the rest,
Instagram, all that shit.
Do all that shit.
We're on it all.
Yeah.
Have you got TikTok?
We just made one.
True.
Do the old TikTok dance, G. Go to the old
Just throw down, bro.
Throw down.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's have a great rest of the night, and best of luck. Cheers.
Thank you, Will.
Will.
See
Thank
you later, bro.
Peace.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching.